Rudy Baldwin's 2025 Warning Will Shake the World. Are you ready? Imagine this. You're scrolling through your phone on an ordinary evening when the power suddenly cuts out. Silence. No hum of machines, no glow of screens, just darkness. Then, a flash in the sky. The ground begins to rumble beneath your feet. Something ancient, something powerful is waking up. And this time it's not just another internet rumor or movie plot. According to Rudy Baldwin, one of the most controversial modern-day prophets, this could be what awaits us in 2025. You may have heard fragments of her warnings: earthquakes splitting the land, fires consuming what we thought was safe, and a sickness emerging that no modern medicine understands. Her visions have unsettled believers and skeptics alike, not because they're wild, but because too many have already come true. But what if her most alarming prophecy is yet to unfold? What if the next wave of chaos doesn't just challenge the world outside, but challenges who we are inside? Before we unravel Rudy Baldwin's most chilling predictions, I invite you to pause. Support the journey of wisdom by liking, sharing, or subscribing. It's a small act, but one that helps this message reach those who may need it most. And if you're drawn to deeper understanding in times of uncertainty, consider joining our growing circle of wisdom seekers. Together we'll explore not just the events that may come, but how to meet them with clarity, courage, and compassion. Number 1. Fiery Omens. Let's talk about something that might sound unbelievable at first, but once you hear the details, it may just make you stop and reflect. Rudy Baldwin's 2025 warning, especially the part she calls fiery omens, is not just a series of predictions. It feels like a wake-up call to how fragile our world truly is. According to her, 3 terrifying fire disasters are on the horizon, and if her visions hold any truth, they could change the course of history. The first of these is what she calls the political inferno. She speaks of a major election triggering not just passionate debates or protests, but actual flames lighting up the streets. Riots so widespread that the sky itself turns amber with thick smoke. The chilling part? She identifies May 12th as the date this chaos begins. This isn't just about politics. It's about the deep divisions in society erupting into fire. When was the last time we paused to think about how our disagreements could spiral into destruction? Are we prepared to handle political tension in a way that prevents it from consuming our communities? And then comes what she describes as the industrial cataclysm. This isn't a natural wildfire. This is man-made. Rudy envisions flames so powerful they can be seen from space, blazes triggered by industrial accidents, possibly even sabotage. She describes entire districts being reduced to ash, homes, factories, vital infrastructure gone in moments. It raises urgent questions about the systems we depend on every day. How much do we really know about the safety of the industries around us? Are we too confident in structures that may, in fact, be one spark away from collapse? It's not about living in fear. It's about awareness, responsibility, and the need to rethink how we protect our shared environment and future. But perhaps the most haunting of all is what she calls the celestial flames. In her vision, the sky explodes in colors of crimson and orange, flaming chaos raining from above. Some interpret this as a meteoric event, others as aerial warfare or catastrophic aviation disasters. Whatever it is, it reminds us of how small we are beneath the vastness of the sky, and how quickly life as we know it can shift. We like to believe we're in control, that technology and science have given us the upper hand, but are we truly ready for unexpected events from above? What would we do if disaster struck not from the earth, but from the sky? These fiery omens, while frightening, are not just about doom. They're warnings, maybe even opportunities to wake up and ask deeper questions. What kind of world are we shaping? Are we fueling division, neglecting safety, ignoring the signs around us? Rudy Baldwin's visions may or may not come true in the literal sense, but the messages behind them feel painfully relevant. Fires often symbolize more than destruction. They represent transformation. Perhaps 2025 isn't about fire that consumes, but fire that reveals what needs to change. So what lessons can we take from these warnings? First, let's not wait for disaster to unite us. We must learn to build bridges before flames force us to. Second, awareness is power. Whether it's in our politics, industries, or connection to the planet, conscious choices today can prevent crisis tomorrow. And finally, let this be a call to live more responsibly, with each other and with the world we all share. What will you do today to bring light instead of heat to the world around you? Number 2. The New Plague. Rudy Baldwin's 2025 warning sends a deep tremor through the collective heart of humanity, reminding us that the lessons of the past may still go unheeded if we are not mindful. She speaks of a looming bacterial plague, one more deadly than COVID-19, though less contagious in the traditional sense. This disease, she says, will not merely pass through coughs or handshakes. It will ride the wind, cling invisibly to surfaces, and drift through the very air we breathe. Its terrifying hallmark lies in its effect on the eyes and lungs, forming dark clots in the blood, leading to blindness, hemorrhaging, and ultimately the collapse of vital organs. In a world still catching its breath from recent pandemics, such a vision is not just a call to fear, but a call to awaken. The Buddha once said, "Health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship." This reminder invites us to center our lives around wellness, not just for ourselves, but for the entire web of life to which we belong. Even as Rudy's words conjure images of chaos, she offers a thread of hope. Scientists, she says, will discover a cure. However, this cure will not be a magic bullet, but an ongoing commitment. Like watering a plant each day, it will require maintenance, patience, and resilience. Vulnerable groups, those with weakened immunity, underlying heart conditions, or poor access to medical care, will suffer the most, and this calls for compassion, not only in thought but in action. In Buddhist teachings, there is a concept called karuna, which means compassion in the face of suffering. It's not just feeling sorry, it's the deep motivation to reduce the pain of others. In practical terms, this may mean choosing to stay home when sick, offering aid to elders, or supporting healthcare systems with our voices and actions. The plague Rudy warns of is not just biological. It's symbolic of the invisible sickness already growing in our society, disconnection, distrust, and the neglect of what truly matters. Just as the disease clings to surfaces and floats unseen in the air, so too do fear, misinformation, and indifference spread in our digital and physical lives. Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us, when you plant lettuce, if it does not grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. You look for reasons why it is not doing well. In the same way, we must look deeply at the conditions of our world, not to cast blame, but to understand the roots of our vulnerabilities. Why are our immune systems so fragile? Why is our global response system still reactive rather than proactive? Why does it take catastrophe for us to remember our shared humanity? Rudy's call to avoid crowded places, practice sanitation and bolster our health is not paranoia, it's preparation with presence. There is a middle way between denial and panic, and that way begins with awareness. Strengthening the immune system isn't just about pills or vitamins. It's about the food we eat, the rest we get, the stress we carry, and the love we give and receive. In modern life, it's easy to forget these things amid deadlines, devices, and distractions. But if a silent plague truly does come upon us again, these simple habits may determine who we lose and who we save. As the Dhammapada says, he who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. Let us then become guardians of both. As we move forward, let this warning serve not as an invitation to dread, but to deepen our sense of responsibility to our bodies, our communities, and the planet itself. Just as the wind can carry both illness and fresh air, so can our actions spread either fear or wisdom. The choice is ours in every moment. May we choose wisely, live kindly, and prepare not only with medicine and masks, but with mindfulness, compassion, and unity. Are we ready for what may come? Perhaps the better question is, are we living in a way that brings readiness, regardless of what comes? Number 3. The volcano awakens. The earth speaks in ways we often ignore, through storms, quakes, and sometimes through the roar of a volcano awakening from slumber. Rudy Baldwin's 2025 warning is not just a dramatic prediction. It's a sobering call to pay attention, to reconnect with nature's power, and to recognize how fragile our place in this world can be. She speaks of the Taal volcano in the Philippines, an ancient force nestled in beauty, now stirring with a threat so vast it may reshape entire landscapes. Rudy's vision is intense. She foresees an eruption of such magnitude that the earth itself will split, releasing fiery magma into the sky like a wrathful breath of the planet. Lava will not only destroy but also create. A new island born from fire will rise at the heart of this eruption. Pilgrims and seekers of truth will journey to this land, seeing it not as a disaster but as a sacred sign, a manifestation of something greater than themselves. From the withered tree a flower blooms, says a Zen proverb. Perhaps even in destruction there is transformation. But let's not mistake awe for safety. This eruption, according to Rudy, is no mere spectacle. Thick, suffocating clouds of volcanic ash will blanket the region, grounding plains, choking crops, and plunging entire communities into eerie, ash-filled darkness. The rains that follow will mix with this ash to create deadly lahar flows, volcanic mudslides that move with terrifying speed, turning familiar rivers into torrents of destruction. This isn't science fiction. It's a very real danger for millions living in Southeast Asia and beyond. So ask yourself, are you ready, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually, to face such a moment? Preparation isn't just about emergency kits. It's about awareness, compassion, and connection. The Buddha taught that all things arise and pass away. In this teaching we find both the impermanence of life and the call to be present, to live with wisdom and readiness. When Rudy shares this prophecy, she doesn't do so to instill fear, but to awaken our attention. As someone deeply connected to spiritual insight, she reminds us that nature's warnings often carry deeper meanings. Could this predicted eruption be a metaphor as much as a literal event? Are we also being asked to look at what needs to erupt within ourselves? What false stability, what repressed emotions or neglected responsibilities must finally be released? Volcanic eruptions are destructive, yes, but they are also part of the Earth's process of renewal. In the same way, the challenges we face, individually or as a society, can be the very ground from which something more conscious, more harmonious can grow. The trouble is, you think you have time, the Buddha once said. This is not just about geological time, but human time. Our limited span to act wisely and with heart. So I ask you directly, how does Rudy's warning make you feel? Does it stir fear, or does it wake something deeper in you? A realization that we must live more attentively, more responsibly, and more connected to the rhythms of this planet we call home. If you've ever witnessed a volcano's rumble or felt the ground tremble beneath your feet, you know it humbles you. It reminds you that we are guests here, not masters. Share your thoughts, your experiences, and even your questions. Your voice might be the one that helps someone else see the signs more clearly. In this moment of uncertainty, let's choose awareness over panic, community over isolation, and wisdom over fear. After all, in the heart of fire, clarity is often born. What do you think? Is this a warning we should take seriously, or a lesson in how to listen more deeply to the world around us? Rudy Baldwin's message isn't just a prediction, it's a wake-up call. If you're still with us, you're one of the few paying attention. Type "I'm ready" in the comments to stand with others preparing for what's ahead. Stay with us. There's more you need to hear before 2025 arrives. Number 4. Flood in the heavens. As we lift our eyes toward the vast sky, Rudy Baldwin's chilling vision for 2025 compels us to reflect more deeply, not just on cosmic events, but on our own place in the grand design of the universe. Her prophecy, described as a flood in the heavens, isn't about water rising from the earth, but about something more terrifying and surreal: the sky itself weeping with fire. According to her vision, 3 massive celestial accidents will unfold in the coming year, and these aren't just random astronomical phenomena. They carry consequences that will shake the very foundation of human confidence in safety, technology, and leadership. Among these dramatic events, one will involve a well-known public figure whose life will teeter on the edge. This will not only provoke widespread fear and emotional reactions, but also ignite a global media frenzy and flood the digital space with speculation. Theories will surface, from deliberate sabotage to divine punishment to the unthinkable, space warfare. And in the confusion, humanity will once again find itself searching for meaning in chaos. The aftermath won't just be psychological or political. The practical fallout is just as alarming. Air travel could grind to a halt, satellites may malfunction or fall from orbit, and Earth could be showered with hazardous space debris. These aren't the plot lines of a sci-fi thriller. They are possibilities that raise serious questions about our increasing dependence on technology and our vulnerability to the unknown. What if, despite our modern advancements, we are still at the mercy of forces beyond our control? This is a moment not to panic, but to pause and consider how resilient we really are, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. The possibility of such celestial disruptions highlights how connected we all are, and how the ripple effects of one major event can touch every life, from the powerful to the humble. In today's fast-paced, tech-driven world, we often feel secure under the blanket of modern innovation, satellites guiding our navigation, the internet keeping us connected, planes taking us across the world in hours. But Rudy's vision is a call to remember that no system, no matter how advanced, is invincible. When we recognize this, we're reminded of a deeper truth long taught in Buddhist philosophy: all things are impermanent. Even the sky, which we assume to be constant and untouchable, may shift in a moment, teaching us that attachment to comfort and certainty can be a hidden source of suffering. In light of such teachings, we are urged not to live in fear, but to live mindfully, to prepare inwardly for the unexpected, cultivate compassion, and focus on what truly matters. So how do we carry this message into our daily lives? First, by reconnecting with simplicity. Strengthen relationships, appreciate nature, and ground yourself in practices like meditation, which can calm the mind even amid the noise of global uncertainty. Most importantly, build resilience not only through knowledge but through kindness and community, because when the skies tremble, it is human connection and inner strength that will help us endure. Whether you believe Rudy Baldwin's vision is literal, symbolic, or somewhere in between, let it serve as a mirror. What if the heavens are not just warning us about space, but about our own disconnection from the earth and from each other? Number 5. A Year of Faith. Rudy Baldwin's visions for 2025 are not easy to hear. They speak of a world pushed to its limits, raging fires that devour forests and cities, devastating floods swallowing homes and farmlands, and plagues that test not only our bodies but also our spirit. These are not just natural disasters or random events. They're signs, Baldwin suggests, of a deeper spiritual imbalance. Humanity has drifted far from the values that sustain us: compassion, humility, unity, and reverence for life. But just when it seems all hope is lost, there's a powerful message that cuts through the chaos. 2025 will be the year of faith. In the midst of confusion and fear, people across the globe will begin to turn inward, seeking meaning, healing, and truth. Some will find themselves falling to their knees, not out of fear, but from a sincere longing to reconnect with something greater than themselves. When everything you depend on crumbles, what do you hold on to? That question is at the heart of Baldwin's warning, and it's one we must each answer for ourselves. This isn't just about religion. Faith in this sense goes beyond rituals or dogma. It's about trusting that even in the darkest moments, light is still possible. It's about believing in the goodness that lives in every heart, even when the world seems cold and divided. As people face challenges that shake their very foundations, they'll begin to rediscover the sacred, not just in temples or churches, but in the quiet moments of reflection, in the kindness of a stranger, in the resilience of the human spirit. Communities once broken by fear will start to rebuild through shared prayer, mutual aid, and simple acts of service. The power of collective belief will become a force more powerful than any disaster. Can you see how turning back to inner strength could shift not just your own life, but the entire world? Faith isn't passive. It's active. It calls on us to protect the earth, care for one another, and live with integrity even when it's hard. Baldwin's prophecy is a wake-up call, but it's also a deep invitation to live more consciously, more kindly, and with a heart open to the sacred. The fires and floods may come, but so will a wave of spiritual awakening. Will you be ready to be part of it? Will you allow yourself to be transformed, not by fear, but by faith? The truth is, moments of crisis often reveal who we really are. They strip away distractions and ego and bring us face to face with our essence. And when we remember our true nature, we also remember that we're not alone. We're all part of something greater. So what can you take from this vision? First, understand that struggle is not the end. It can be the beginning of something deeper. Second, realize that faith isn't about escape. It's about engagement. It means showing up fully in your life, even when things fall apart. And third, never underestimate the ripple effect of a heart rooted in trust, in love, in something bigger than fear. If 2025 truly becomes the year of faith, then your role in it matters more than you might think. You are not powerless. You can be a light in someone's darkness. You can be a voice of calm in the storm. And you can be part of the healing that this world so desperately needs. Thank you for watching today's video about Rudy Baldwin's 2025 warning, Will It Shake the World? We truly appreciate your time and presence here with us. This topic raises deep questions about our future, and we'd love to hear what you think. Feel free to share your thoughts, reflections, or even your own intuitive sense about what's ahead. If you're new to our channel, just drop a comment saying, "I am a newbie." We're happy to welcome you. And if you've been with us for a while, type "I am ready" to show your support and share in this journey. Your engagement means a lot to us. It keeps our community growing and gives life to the conversations that matter. Let's keep walking this path together, shall we? From prophecy to practice, living with awareness and compassion in uncertain times. Rudy Baldwin's visions for 2025 are intense. Whether you see them as literal prophecies or powerful metaphors, one thing is clear: the world feels more uncertain than ever. But instead of falling into fear, what if we saw these warnings as a wake-up call? The Buddhist teachings remind us that every challenge, no matter how dark, can be an opportunity to wake up. To ask ourselves, are we living in alignment with what truly matters? Are we nurturing peace, or just reacting to chaos? Instead of waiting for disaster to force change, we can start now, by turning inward, reconnecting with compassion, and living more mindfully. Number 1. Embrace simplicity and let go of excess. In a world that constantly encourages us to chase more possessions, more achievements, more convenience, it's easy to become entangled in a cycle of craving that leaves us feeling empty and restless. The Buddha's gentle wisdom offers a liberating alternative. Contentment is the greatest wealth. This profound teaching reminds us that true abundance is not found in accumulation, but in knowing when we have enough. Embracing simplicity is not about deprivation or living without comfort. It's about understanding what genuinely nourishes our spirit and choosing to release the excess that burdens us. When we begin to let go, whether it's physical clutter, mental distractions, or emotional baggage, we start to uncover a spaciousness within us that feels like coming home. A simple action like tidying a room or choosing not to buy something we don't really need can be deeply transformative. These small steps become sacred rituals of freedom, because the less we are owned by our belongings or driven by our desires, the more present and peaceful we become. This practice of letting go is not just practical, it's deeply spiritual. As the Zen master Shunryu Suzuki once said, "When you let go, you gain everything." Simplicity leads to clarity, and clarity leads to compassion, for ourselves and for others. In modern life, where digital noise and consumer culture push us toward constant comparison and distraction, choosing a simpler path allows us to reconnect with what really matters. It creates the space for silence, for presence, for joy that isn't tied to buying something new or proving something to others. Think about the stress that often accompanies managing too many things. Cluttered homes, overstuffed calendars, even overloaded minds. Each layer adds pressure, making it harder to breathe, to focus, to love. Simplicity is a balm to that pressure. By choosing less, we actually gain more. More clarity, more energy, more time to spend with loved ones, more awareness to notice life as it unfolds in each precious moment. Let us not underestimate how powerful this shift can be. When we stop measuring our worth by what we own or how much we achieve, we awaken a deeper sense of self, one rooted in inner peace, not external validation. The great teacher Thich Nhat Hanh said, "You have enough. You are enough." This truth is revolutionary in a society that constantly tells us we are lacking. Simplifying our lives becomes an act of resistance against the pressure to conform and consume. It also becomes a path of compassion, because when we live with less, we take less from the earth, and we can offer more to those in need. Imagine the impact if more of us made these gentle shifts, choosing to repair instead of replace, to pause instead of rush, to share instead of hoard. These choices ripple outward, creating a more compassionate, sustainable world. So begin today, not by changing everything all at once, but by taking one conscious step. Give away what no longer serves you. Slow down your buying habits. Make space for stillness. These small actions are powerful prayers. They are how we bring the Dhamma off the cushion and into our homes, our workplaces, our relationships. As the Dhammapada reminds us, the one who is content lives happily, not lacking in anything. In uncertain times, the ability to live with awareness and compassion becomes not just a spiritual ideal, but a practical survival skill. And simplicity, quietly and gently, shows us the way. Are there areas in your life today where letting go might lead to greater freedom? Number 2. Strengthen your health, body and mind together. When life feels unpredictable, when we're facing the uncertainty of illness, disaster, or just the everyday pressures that seem to pile up, our greatest refuge is our health. But let's pause for a moment and ask, what does it truly mean to be healthy? Many of us are taught to think of health only in terms of the body. Strong muscles, clean eating, exercise, routines. And yes, these things matter. Your body is your vehicle in this life, and it deserves care. Give it nourishing food, allow it rest, and let it move with ease and energy. But if we stop there, we're only protecting half of what makes us whole. Real health is not only in your body, it's in your mind and heart too. It's in how you feel when you wake up in the morning. It's in whether your thoughts bring you peace or pressure. It's in how you respond when life doesn't go as planned. Let's talk about the mind, the space where so much of our suffering or serenity begins. A restless, anxious mind can wear down even the strongest body. So how do we care for this inner world? One of the most powerful tools is something you already have, your breath. It's with you every moment, yet we rarely notice it. Try this. Just pause and take a slow, deep breath. Now another. Feel what happens. This simple act starts to settle the storm inside. When we breathe mindfully, we give ourselves the chance to return to the present moment, where life is actually happening. Meditation builds on this awareness. It's not about escaping reality, but learning how to meet it with calm and clarity. Even a few minutes a day can shift how we experience stress, fear, and uncertainty. A steady breath and a clear mind can carry you through what no medicine can. This isn't a poetic exaggeration. It's a truth seen in countless moments. When someone in crisis finds calm through deep presence, or when emotional strength helps a person heal beyond what doctors predicted. Spiritual and emotional health are not abstract ideas. They're the inner muscles that support us when outer circumstances shake. Just as we feed our body, we must nourish our spirit. Through quiet time, through loving connection with others, and through choosing compassion over conflict, especially when it's hardest. Now reflect with me. How often do you care for your mind with the same intention as you do your body? How do you respond to your emotions? Do you listen to them or try to push them away? How would your day look if you began it not just with coffee or news, but with stillness and a few deep breaths? In Buddhist teaching, awareness and compassion are the roots of healing. When we live with awareness, we stop reacting blindly and start seeing clearly. When we live with compassion, we soften the hard edges of fear, both in ourselves and in others. And when these two qualities guide how we care for our health, body and mind together, we become more resilient, more peaceful, and more connected to life itself. So here is your takeaway today. Don't separate your body from your mind. Care for both. Let rest and nutrition support your body, and let breath, mindfulness, and emotional honesty support your inner world. Health is a harmony, and in uncertain times, it's one of the greatest acts of compassion you can offer to yourself and to others. What's one small thing you can begin today to care for your whole self, not just the physical part? Number 3. Practice compassion in everyday moments. In these uncertain times, when the world often feels heavy and fast-moving, it's easy to feel powerless or overwhelmed. But let me remind you of something both simple and deeply powerful. You can make a difference, right here, right now, through the quiet strength of compassion. You don't need to fix the world or become some kind of hero. What matters most is how you show up in the small, everyday moments of your life. What if the real path forward isn't through control or prediction, but through presence and connection? The Buddha once said, "Radiate boundless love towards the entire world." That begins not in faraway lands or distant futures, but in how you treat the person in front of you. Compassion is not a grand performance. It's not about showing the world how kind you are. It's much quieter than that. It's listening without needing to interrupt. It's speaking to others in a tone that calms rather than provokes. It's lending a hand when someone is struggling, even if that hand simply holds space for them to cry. These are small acts, but their impact is beyond measure. The Dalai Lama said, "Be kind whenever possible. It is always possible." These words aren't just inspirational, they're a call to live differently, more openly, with a deeper sense of shared humanity. So ask yourself, what does compassion look like in your daily life? Is it how you respond to someone who's angry or afraid? Is it in the way you treat those who seem difficult or distant? When we stop seeing others as other and instead recognize that we all carry burdens, fears, and longings, then compassion becomes a natural response. It's not pity, it's solidarity, and in that solidarity we remember that none of us is alone. Let's be honest, there are moments when being compassionate doesn't feel easy. Someone cuts you off in traffic, a co-worker snaps at you, a family member says something hurtful. In those moments, your first reaction might be irritation or even judgment. But pause for a second. Breathe. What if instead of reacting, you choose to respond? That's where awareness comes in. Mindfulness isn't just sitting quietly on a cushion. It's noticing when your heart is closing and gently choosing to keep it open anyway. Isn't that a kind of strength we don't talk about enough? And here's something deeply personal. I've seen how just one kind act, just one sincere, unguarded moment of care can shift an entire day or even a life. I've experienced this myself, and maybe you have too. Maybe someone once showed up for you when you were at your lowest. Maybe it was a friend or even a stranger. Do you remember how that felt? That's the ripple I'm talking about. You may never see where your compassion travels, but trust that it does. In Buddhism, we often talk about metta, loving kindness, as a practice, not just a feeling. It's something we grow into, moment by moment. And the beautiful thing is, the more we practice it, the more natural it becomes. It's like watering a seed, quietly, patiently, and over time something beautiful takes root, not just in others, but in yourself. So today, I invite you. What's one way you can bring compassion into your life right now? Not tomorrow, not next week, but this very moment. Is there someone you can call, someone you can forgive, someone you can thank? The smallest gesture might be exactly what someone needs to feel seen, to feel safe, to feel human. In a world where so much feels uncertain, compassion is one of the few things that is always within your control. You carry it with you wherever you go. Use it wisely, generously, and with courage. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, compassion is a verb. It's something we do, not just something we feel. And maybe, just maybe, this daily practice of quiet compassion is the prophecy fulfilled, not in distant miracles, but in the living truth of your heart. If you've made it this far, you're already walking the path of awareness and compassion in a world full of uncertainty. Comment below with "mindful living" to affirm your commitment to living with intention and heart. Don't go anywhere. There's still deep insight ahead that can help you bring peace, clarity, and purpose into your everyday life. Stay with us until the end to discover how ancient wisdom can guide us through modern challenges. Number 4. Reconnect with nature. Live in harmony with the earth. In many of Baldwin's visions, there are signs of natural upheaval, storms, droughts, shifts in the land, and while it's tempting to see these events as warnings or threats, they are also profound messages. Nature isn't something outside of us, acting upon us from a distance. It is not our adversary, but our oldest teacher, patiently inviting us back into relationship. Over time, in the rush of modern life, driven by convenience, screens, and consumption, we've drifted far from that sacred connection. We drive past trees without seeing them, live under skies we don't pause to appreciate, and consume from the earth without gratitude. But we can choose differently, and now is the time. Rebuilding our relationship with the natural world begins not with grand gestures, but with small, sincere acts of presence. Taking a quiet walk without distraction, planting a seed and tending it with care, reducing the waste we produce, choosing reusable over disposable, honoring the clean water that flows into our homes. These are not just environmental practices, they are spiritual ones. When we start to pay attention to the rhythms of the earth, the rising sun, the changing seasons, the way birds sing before dawn, we start to remember that we are not separate from this world. We are of it. Our bodies are made of water and minerals. We breathe the air that trees exhale. This awareness isn't poetic, it's deeply practical. In times of uncertainty, when everything feels unstable, the natural world offers something profoundly grounding. Nature keeps its rhythm no matter the noise of the human world. The tide comes in, the moon waxes and wanes, seeds sprout, trees let go of their leaves. There is wisdom in this continuity, and we can draw strength from it. Modern life, especially in urban settings, has trained us to prioritize speed and productivity, but the earth teaches patience and presence. By tuning into her ways, we learn to respond rather than react, to care rather than consume, and to live with a steadier heart. We are being called to remember that compassion isn't only something we show to people, it's something we show to all living things. Respecting the rivers means not polluting them. Honoring the mountains means protecting their silence and stillness. Looking up at the sky with reverence reminds us that we're part of a vast, interconnected web of life. When we treat the earth with love, we naturally become more gentle with ourselves and others. So the invitation is simple but profound. Come back to the earth. Let her teach you how to slow down, how to be present, and how to live with humility. Whether it's by growing a few herbs on your windowsill or taking 5 minutes each day to step outside and just listen, these practices connect you to something deeper than worry or fear. They remind you that while the future may be uncertain, you are not alone. You are part of a greater whole, rooted in something enduring and wise. Reconnection with nature is not just a return to the physical earth, it is a return to balance, to peace, and to the kind of wisdom that helps us move through uncertain times with clarity and care. Number 5. Live with purpose. Stay awake each day. Let me ask you something simple but powerful. If today were your last day, how would you live it? Would you rush through it in distraction, or would you slow down, take a deep breath, and choose to be fully present in each moment? The truth is, we don't need to wait for a crisis or some major life event to search for meaning. Meaning isn't something far away that we one day discover. It's something we can create right here, right now. Every single day is a chance to live with awareness. And when we begin to see life through this lens, even the ordinary becomes sacred. Waking up is no longer just a routine. It becomes a quiet celebration. Speaking honestly isn't just about truth-telling. It becomes a form of respect, both for yourself and others. Helping someone, even in the smallest ways, becomes a way of saying, I am here and I care. And resting? That becomes an act of wisdom, not laziness. You begin to realize that when you honor your body's need for rest, you're also caring for your spirit. Living with purpose doesn't mean you have to do something dramatic or grand. It doesn't mean founding a charity or climbing a mountain, unless that's your calling. What matters is that you live awake. Awake to the impact your words and actions have, awake to the feelings in your own heart, and awake to the needs and beauty around you. Even making someone smile, even listening deeply without offering advice, even choosing kindness when it's easier to walk away. These are not small things. These are sacred acts. These are the moments that define a life of real meaning. The Buddha taught us that we can find liberation not just in silence and meditation, but also in our daily choices, our daily awareness. When we pay attention, we become caretakers of life, not just our own, but the lives of others too. So the real question becomes, are you awake today? Not just physically awake, but spiritually awake, aware of the preciousness of this life and the chance you have right now to live with clarity and compassion. Sometimes we think purpose has to be found, but often it's something we choose to bring into each moment. It's not waiting for you somewhere else. It's right here, in the way you greet a stranger, in how you take care of your responsibilities, in whether or not you forgive someone or yourself. And if you make a mistake, that's okay too. Being purposeful doesn't mean being perfect. It means showing up again and again, learning, falling, growing, and staying open. As we move through uncertain times, when the world can feel heavy and unpredictable, your purpose doesn't need to be tied to control or achievement. Let it be rooted in presence. Let it be guided by kindness. Let it grow through awareness. So take a deep breath, place your feet gently on the ground, and ask yourself, how can I live this day well, not for praise, not for fear, but out of love? For yourself, for others, and for this brief and beautiful life. Today's lesson is this: living with purpose isn't about doing more, it's about being more awake. Purpose lives in the quality of your attention, the honesty of your heart, and the compassion in your actions. Ask yourself each day, what can I offer the world today, no matter how small? And let that question be your compass. As we reflect on Rudy Baldwin's visions, whether we take them as prophecy or powerful metaphor, one thing becomes clear. We are being called to wake up, to live more mindfully, more compassionately, and more connected to each other and the earth. The future may be uncertain, but how we meet it is still within our hands. The true preparation doesn't begin with fear. It begins with awareness, with courage, and with the choices we make each day. If this message has stirred something in you, I invite you to take a moment right now to support the journey of wisdom. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming videos filled with reflection, insight, and spiritual grounding. Let us walk this path together with clarity, compassion, and wisdom. Until next time, take care of your mind, your heart, and each other.